Hello, everybody who is, well, here. I know there's not that many of you, but I hope that there's enough of you because I'm going to be talking a bit about Resident Evil Village. Actually, that's pretty much all I'm going to be talking about. And I know I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege right now, but there's actually an explanation to that. So, starting off, I'm going to explain my plans going forward with Resident Evil Village and where it belongs on my channel. And after that, I'm going to get to kind of my review because I have played the game to completion. So, first I'm just going to talk about a bit about what I look to do. So, I have played and finished the game, got on the first day, took about 2 days, but I did it. So, like I said on a previous video, I wanted to do it myself at my own speed for the first time, because that's usually what I like doing. But I will be doing a walkthrough, and the most likely time I'll be doing that is in 2 weeks. And that's simply because with all my moving from parent house to parent house, I go from place to place, and one Wi-Fi is preferably better and is better for me to do the uploading and all that stuff, so I'd like to get that stuff done there. And by the time that rotation comes around, will be about 2 weeks, and if I do that, I'll have a fresh start to a new week, which will set up for a whole week of me just getting it done. And the game doesn't take that long, but I'm probably going to do it on a harder difficulty, so it might take a little bit of extra time, I don't know. But that is what I look to do. So probably 2 weeks, or at the end of this week, but I don't want that much of a big, space in between them. So the most likely time will be 2 weeks, like I said. And that works for me personally, and I just think getting it done throughout a week would be fine. The reason not doing it for this week is simply because I don't know if I'm in the mood to play it through again in the week immediately after. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a break from that, and maybe just put some Siege videos up this week because I haven't been putting stuff up lately. So as I play this quick match here, I'm just going to continue on with Village. So, yes, so that is what I look to do. Continuing on, and that was amazing. Well, that's a great start to this video. I hope you prefer Village over this, because I hope better at Village than I am at this. Okay, so my review of Village. Is it my favorite Resident Evil game? No. Do I like it better than Biohazard? My favorite? No. Not like it better than Biohazard. Did I like it? Yes, I did. I really liked it. I thought the graphics were amazing. I thought it was creepy. I thought the story was alright. And I thought all the characters were great. I just simply don't think I like it as much as Biohazard. I think my bar was set way too high. I loved Biohazard so incredibly much, and I grew attached to it over like a seriously large amount of times that I played it. Village, however, it's just that I don't know what it is. I think I didn't like the way it was done, and I think I was just expecting too much from what Biohazard was. So I'm gonna do a bit here with no spoilers, and if you don't want any spoilers, I will come to that later. So I will warn you when I'm talking spoilers. So I'll continue with the no spoilers, and then I'll get to the nitty-gritty with spoilers. So, as far as the game goes, the atmosphere was great. I liked the switch from the bayou to more of a winter landscape. Yes, that was great. Some things that, I don't know. I really liked that Ethan was more characterized. In Biohazard, Ethan was more of a no emotions kind of guy with not that many lines in the game. And I felt that with Village, he had a lot more lines, a lot more personality, he talked a lot more, and I think there was just a lot more cutscenes overall. And that was very well done with how he talked around you know, any evil character like, you know, anyone. Even the weird, creepy little girl that I'm trying to avoid spoilers, you know. But yes, I did like the way he interacted with everyone. Mia, everyone. I'm just trying to state characters that would be non-spoilers. So, that was all done very well, his characterization. However, I feel like, as much as that was improved, Ethan himself wasn't. He felt more stiff in this game, to be completely honest. I felt like in Biohazard, his body was a bit looser, like he moved a lot around a lot more. I think he was easier to, like, move quickly, and I felt in this, it was a lot of just running straight and then making a turn into a complete direction. It just felt a lot more stiff. Like, his character had a lot more color to it. However, his body was very stiff. Not very stiff, like he moved around what he needed to do and all that. I just felt like in Biohazard, he was a lot looser. He could move a bit better. It's the mechanics, you know? I preferred the mechanics in Biohazard. I don't know if it changed. I think just whether it did change or it's just where the game takes place and what he was doing. Maybe that's what changed. But, or maybe it was just the way that I, you know, took it as. But I just felt, that's my personal, you know, I just think his body was a bit more stiff. And I don't know how you really correct that with the first person and what they planned on doing, and I did nothing in this game. But yes, that's, as far as that goes, I'm satisfied with it. I'm 100% satisfied. I just preferred Biohazards over that. All the villains were great. Mother Miranda was pretty interesting. And I don't want to... I'll get into that in the spoiler section, but another thing I want to touch on is, we all know that there was Lycans going to be in this game, which are werewolves. They were done pretty well. Yeah, they were done pretty well, I have to admit. They weren't too tough, but there was no point where I felt like it was overbearing, and that's good. I did like that it was a bit, like, I wasn't worried 100%. There were some times that it got pretty intense. But as far as that went, it was good. The zombie kind of characters, they were really good too, because they moved great, and they felt, like, scary enough, and they really did what they needed to do, and they were that great, you know, kind of easy, you know, not easy, but they're just kind of the enemies that are easier to take off, but they're just in it for, you know, killing something. But as far as they went, they were great. You know, any other real character that was there or villain was all pretty good. So yeah, that's really what I have to say about the game with no spoilers involved. It was very good, I liked it. I liked a lot of what it did. So, as far as this game goes, for no spoilers, that's all that can really come off the top of my head. So, from here to the end, I'm going to be talking spoilers, okay? So if you don't want to hear that, that's fine. You can go now. But if you're okay with spoilers, or if you played the game, you can stay. So as far as this goes, I'm gonna get into more the situation and what I liked about changing things or what they did. So the biggest one that came to mind is, of course, this huge spoiler. So if you don't want any spoilers, leave right now, okay? And I just died, so, you know, for your pleasure, just don't, just go. Anyways, the biggest thing here is that there's a huge reveal from Biohazard, and that is the fact that Ethan is dead. Ethan is not even alive. He is simply, literally, a bioweapon, shaped from the mold or Evelyn. I mean, it was an okay plot twist. It wasn't great, but it did give a great explanation on why he can literally lose limbs and reattach them. So that was a good explanation for that. However, I wasn't 100% on board, but it did make sense and I was okay with it. There's nothing I can really change about that. So that worked well enough for what they gave us. So I was okay with that being done, and as far as the story going, as he's trying to save his daughter Rose from the clutches of, these enemies.
Op 4 eliminated.
It was okay. I think it was a bit. I don't even know how to really put it. It felt forced how Chris just showed up. Took them, and then they were just ended up crashed, and then they ended up at this place. It was like the game was begging for Rose to be taken. And if Chris really wanted them protected, and since Rose is so important, it would have made a bit more sense that they would have been more secured. And I just got an alpha pack. But I think it would have made a bit more sense if they were a bit safer and they were set up that way. But yes. Anyways, getting to the villains that I am going to get to now to, I can do spoilers. So we're going to start with the big one, Mother Miranda. You want my honest opinion on Mother Miranda? The character was good enough, but I didn't like the way she was done. Because it sets up this big boss battle at the end. But by the time you get there, you don't know an awful lot about her. You know her story, but when I play a Resident Evil game, what made Biohazard so great was I was chased around the house by Jack Baker, okay? I was completely up to the wall with Jack Baker just trying to kill me. I grew a hate for him so much that I just kind of feared him. And I really wanted to get rid of him. And when you were able to defeat him, you felt this huge satisfaction that you had accomplished it. However, Mother Miranda, even though she was the one behind it all, didn't really threaten me because I never got to experience her power firsthand. And for the character personally, you don't feel that threatened by that until you start the fight and realize, oh, she is pretty badass and she is going to kill me. But before that, it doesn't build up enough for me personally, and when you kill her, you don't get the same satisfaction as even Dimitrescu, I think is how you pronounce it, Lady Dimitrescu. You are chased around the mansion by Dimitrescu, and she's tormenting you, and she's creepy. She's tall, her daughters have been trying to kill you, so you really build up this hate and tension, because you just want to get rid of her. I think Dimitrescu would have been a better, top villain. Now, I know Mother Miranda being the boss of it all sets that up better, but for this particular place in the setting up, I think when I killed Dimitrescu, I felt a lot, accomplished than I did Mother Miranda. And that is simply for the fact that I grew this hate for Dimitrescu and wanted her gone, and she bugged me so much that when she was gone, I felt great about it. Same with Heisenberg. Heisenberg, I was running around this factory while his makeshift zombie armor guys were after me, and that was all pretty cool, I'll admit. I was pretty down for that, as however hard they were to get rid of, I was down. Honestly, that was pretty cool. And when you get to Heisenberg, you have this badass fight on this kind of tank sort of thing. So that all worked pretty well, not gonna lie. And there's a camera there, so I don't know why I did that. So that all worked out pretty well, honestly. So I'm not upset about that. Heisenberg was great. And I think even if they wanted him to put off to, after you get Mother Miranda, so he kind of overthrows her, I don't know, it was okay how it worked out, but, I really just didn't feel as threatened to Mother Miranda as I had for the others, because I really grew up this hate and really was threatened because they've been tormenting me for so long. And, moving on from that to Moreau, the small, like, stupid, kind of luggish guy who spits vomit. He was alright. He was kind of annoying, which I know is the point of it. And to be honest, he's probably the villain I spent the longest amount of time on, simply because there's a certain part, like in before you fight him, that took so long. And he was honestly pretty hard to beat. I beat Heisenberg the first time. I beat Dimitrescu the first time. I beat the doll lady the first time. But Miranda took me a couple times. But Moreau actually did take me a decent amount of time to beat. Like the big fish or whatever. So he was not bad. He was bugging me a lot. And lastly, out of the main villains, we have oh man, what's her name? Donna Benevieto, the doll witch person. She was alright. And that's simply for the fact that I'm saying that is because, you know, she got her doll to do it, and you never really met the real Benevieto, which is okay. You read a lot about her, you learned about her over time, and she probably brought out the creepiest, for me personally, part of the game, which, yes, it is by far the creepiest part of the game, is when you're in the house basement, and you turn the corner, and there is this, I don't even know how to describe it, the baby that slithers along, chasing you down, doing its weird scream. The dialogue was creepy as hell, and it's after you, and you have no idea what to do. It was so creepy. Like, holy hell was I scared, and it took me a couple times because I didn't know what to do to hide under the bed or in the closets. That was creepy, I have to admit. That got me on the edge of my seat, and that's what affected me the most. But beating her was good because, again, she bugs you so much that you just want her gone. And when that happens, you feel so good. And just to back it up even further, yes, that's why when I got Mother Miranda, it's like, yeah, she's the main boss, and I did it, and this is the end of the game. I just didn't feel as accomplished. I know it's very weird, but that's just the feeling that I felt when that was all said and done. But yes, that's how I felt about that, as far as Mother Miranda went. And it was all right. The boss fights, if I had to rank, I'd put at the bottom probably the baby or the doll, because really for the doll, you just, after the baby section, you just kind of chased her around the house. You had to find her. So I'd probably put her at the bottom. Next, I'd probably put, this is tough. Next, I'd probably put Moreau, simply because the fish was kind of annoying, and honestly, I didn't really care for it. Third, I'd probably put Dimitrescu. Because her boss fight was okay, but you just kind of circle the church top for a bit, or not not the church, the castle top for a bit, and you just kind of shoot her up a bit, and then the cutscene's pretty cool, but yeah, it was simple, but Dimitrescu I'd put there. Next I'd probably put Heisenberg. Like his was pretty cool, but like it was fun, but yeah. And then number one, I'd put Mother Miranda, and this is different from what I said about defeating her. I didn't say that the boss fight wasn't good. I simply said that the feeling of beating her wasn't as good. For most feelings and like feeling good about killing them, number one, I'd probably put Dimitrescu, simply because for me, a lot of my time was in the castle, because there's a section where I honestly did not know what to do at all. So she was chasing me around a lot. So there was a lot I struggled in there. So she was probably the best to kill. Second, probably Moreau for the fact that he was so annoying and he just bugged me so much, and he was pretty tough, so it took me a couple tries. So Dimitrescu and then Moreau, honestly. Then probably Heisenberg, because I chased him around for so long and his whole factory was annoying. Fourth, I'd probably put, actually, you know what? Beneviento was not better than Miranda. I'll put Miranda at fourth, because Miranda kind of tied the whole thing up and you finished there. Beneviento, like, I don't know, you didn't spend too long at her house, and she wasn't affecting me too much other than she was scary. Like, it wasn't all hell broke loose trying to get to her. So I'd put Beneviento at, fifth, and Miranda at fourth. But yeah, definitely pretty good. And the thing with that is this game I didn't like as much as Biohazard, because when I beat Jack Baker, I felt so good about it. When I beat his wife, Marguerite, I felt great. When I beat Lucas in the side story, I felt absolutely amazing. So that feeling of accomplishment simply wasn't there as much in Village, which is alright. I just would have preferred more of a feeling of accomplishment. I mean, some things are pretty good, and in holy crap, he's gonna confuse me. So yeah, some things were alright in. I suck so bad. So some things were alright in Village as far as the villains go. Like, all the villains are really cool, but definitely the Miranda build-up wasn't that great. But as far as the other ones went, it was pretty good. The boss fights were good enough, and yeah, it was good. So the next thing is why this all was happening, because Miranda wanted her daughter back and to put her in Ethan's daughter. That was okay. I didn't like the fact that, like, it sounds so weird to say out loud, and I honestly didn't care for having to search around for, you know, Rose's different body parts in the jars. I could have done without that, honestly. I know you needed a reason to kind of go around, but honestly, that kind of sucked. If you want my full, like, it just felt wrong. And I know this is Resident Evil, but that just really, I think they could have come up with something better, if you want my opinion. It just felt ugly, and I don't know. I just think it wasn't the best thing they could have come up with. I know I probably sound like a wuss, but that's honestly how I feel about it. I think the jars were just a whole gimmick, and I wasn't that crazy about it. There could have been a better way that you had to save Rose. Next thing is the, reveal that Mia was at the start of the game when you see her die. That wasn't the real Mia, it was Miranda. So, that was okay. I don't know how she got there, though, and took Mia, but I guess probably did it behind Ethan's back. So, I mean, that was okay. Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, that's really as much. The story behind... One thing I will definitely back is the story behind how they each got their own, like, unique powers. Like, we got, you know, we found out that Miranda has, like, created the four. Not created them, but, like, was able to put in each of them. And as you're Chris near the end, and you find out about each power, and you find out about how they got them, and the kind of inspiration behind it, it made enough sense. And I did like that enough. So yeah, that was pretty good. No real complaints there. So yeah, that's as much as I can really think about off the top of my head. I think it was well done. The graphics were amazing. It was just hard enough. And there was a lot of puzzles, and the puzzles were good. I did enjoy the puzzles. A lot of keys, which in Resident Evil is to be expected. But, you know, it was good. Do I like him with Biohazard? No. but it's a definite close second. I did like it a lot. So yeah, that's where that fits there. I don't know whether there's anything else to bring up. So yeah, I can't wait to do the walkthrough here on my YouTube channel. And it'll be pretty fun. I'll probably do a harder difficulty as I did standard my first time around. So I'll probably do like hardcore or something. I don't know. But yeah, that should be pretty fun. Not really much else, honestly. I'm just trying to think of other things. I'll probably play to the end of this training grounds here, but beyond that, there's not much else I can really say about Resident Evil Village. I think I've said everything that I needed to say. Yeah. But yeah, overall it was really good. I did like it. Damn it. I really suck, don't I? Okay, so that pretty much does it for me here. That was a long video, but I really wanted to talk about Village. I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. Oh, one more thing. The Duke, that was a cool character. I liked that there was the whole setup thing. The setup of the infantry was okay, but there's a lot of times I felt like I didn't have enough room, but I mean, that's how Resident Evil is. But yeah, that was all done well. The Duke, the weapons were really good, a nice variety, and especially when you got the bonus content and you play it through and you get to do it again. Like, cause I was able to do Chris, so I know what those weapons feel like, so I could only guess what they feel like doing it as Ethan going through. So yes, that was done fairly well. But yeah, I cannot think of much that comes to mind. Oh, post-credit scene. With how Rose turned out, she's pretty cool, and I cannot wait for Resident Evil 9 that comes out in 2024. I don't know what was going on there. I think they were trying to kill her. The car stopped that she got in. And it was amazing, how she was still seeing her dad after he died. She was wearing his jacket that was left to her. So yeah, that was really good. I did like that, and she seems like a cool character. And that leads to my final thing before I go, and that is in Ethan's death. Did I like how he died? No. Do I like what the death symbolized? Yes. I think the death could have been done a little bit better. For some reason, it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. Just the way he went out, I don't know. He saved everyone, but the way he saved everyone, I wasn't 100% on board with. The setup, the sacrifice was all good. That was good how they did that, but honestly, just beyond that, I don't know if I really can back it as much. So, behind that, yeah, it was good enough, but you know where I'm getting to. Just seeing him go that way just wasn't, I'm not gonna say not good enough for me, but I'm gonna say it, not good enough for me. I felt like there could have been a better way, you know, more than just a cutscene. Like, it was kind of more in my hands about, like, wait, was this not Rook that I just got that for? Was it Doc? I don't know. But yes, that was our, was it Monty? Must have been Monty. But yeah, Resident Evil Village, pretty good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd put it at, 8. Resident Evil 8 gets an 8. It was good. It's just enough things that I didn't like. Resident Evil Biohazard would probably give a 9. There's not many 10 out of 10 games for me, honestly. Like, there's a lot of games that I really enjoy, but 10 out of 10s, there's very few. Last of Us Part 2, Rainbow Six Siege. But yeah, that's where that goes. So yes, Resident Evil Village was great. Walkthrough you can expect in 2 weeks. Probably an episode every day. But yes, other than that, pretty damn good for me. Thank you for lasting this long through my video here. You probably didn't, but if you did and you're still at this point, leave a like, maybe a comment on if you look forward to Resident Evil, how you felt about Resident Evil Village, and anything in between, honestly. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for listening for like 30 minutes to me just rambling on, sucking at Siege. I promise you I'm not this bad. It's just that I'm talking about Village that I'm just not paying attention really at all. But yes, thank you so much. There will be more Siege-centered videos this week. Oh, and Until Dawn walkthrough. I did 2 parts of the Until Dawn Worst Decisions walkthrough. I might do some more of that this week. So yeah, that might be a bit done. So I hope I can get that done this week so that it's not interfering with in 2 weeks. So yes, thank you very much. If you do enjoy the Until Dawns, then make sure you tell me that too. Or I might just stop. But you know what? I'll see it through. I'll keep going. It depends what you all want. So thank you very much for sitting through this much of me. Yeah, that's really all I can say. And I hope you have a really good one.